Pull the string, pull the string!
Scoodly, wow, wow, wow.
Play area backstage.
The human brain contains 100 billion neurons. Each neuron is as powerful as a large computer, and each neuron has around 10,000 connections with other neurons within our foreheads.
M. Suggested for mature audiences. Parental discretion advised.
All these factors must be considered as we plan for the survival of our homes, our families, and our nation in the nuclear age.
Bay Area Backstage on location at Kirk Von Hammett's FearFestEvil. The man behind the screams panel featuring Basil Gogos and Kirk Von Hammett with moderator Joe Moe.
I'm doing very well now. I feel very good. I feel at home. All these are my friends, and I thank them for it. I thank them for everything that I did that they were part of. I'm so happy with it.
Basil, I just want you to know you're well loved here at this place. Very well loved.
I believed in you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do believe in this man. What he does is the truth. I do believe in you.
It's such an honor to have you here at the convention. I just want you to know I've been a big fan of your artwork ever since I can remember. I mean, I think going back to like 5 or 6 years old. I mean, that's how long I've been staring at your art. And you know, I think you're just a brilliant artist, and I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate the fact that you're here right now. And as a token of my appreciation, we have a little something that we want to give you today. All right.
I love surprises.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow.
There you go. Thank you so much. You look great. All right.
Look at that.
Basil, I'd love to present to you on behalf of FearFestEvil this token of appreciation, and I'll just read it. It says, Kirk Von Hammett's FearFestEvil presents to Basil Gogos this award for a lifetime achievement in art and horror. San Francisco, February 8th, 2014. And it's for you.
Bravo. Stand for that one.
Thank you again, Basil.
How lovely it is. I didn't expect that.
Oh, wow. Some familiar friends on there, huh?
Beautiful. I didn't expect that at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having
My
us.
pleasure for being here to begin with.
Cheers.
But this is a little bit too much.
Well,
It's a lot.
I know.
It's amazing. Kirk, wasn't Basil one of the first things you collected? I mean, when you were able to really start your major collection?
Yeah, I mean, I bought one of Basil's paintings back around, I'd say 1987, and you know, over the course of years, people would come up to me knowing that I was buying these paintings and would just offer them to me over the course of time. And you know, I just have to say, I feel very, very fortunate to own some original Basil Gogos paintings, and you know, for me, they're some of my prized possessions.
Do you have most of the ones you coveted? Or there's some that escaped you?
You know, the ones I have, I am just so happy to have. You know, I'm just really, really blown away. But I have to say, that painting and that painting are my two favorites.
Yep.
This one and that one, especially
That's a
that
beauty.
one.
That is burned into my memory.
Yeah, the 1970 Fear book.
Which paintings are they?
That's the mummy painting.
Right?
Yeah, and that's the 1970 Fear book.
Your
Right,
Lugosi,
okay.
beautiful.
Yeah.
All
And you should know, Basil has a table here. There's lots of stuff for you guys to look at, and there's giclées at the FearFestEvil merch table. You can buy these things, and Basil will sign them for you. And this is
Yes,
your
and
opportunity.
I will sign them too. If you guys are interested.
Perfect.
Yeah, we have some really great giclées that are available at the merch stand that we had printed up just for this event. Very limited edition. And thank you, Basil, for giving us the opportunity to be able to offer those today.
This is a little bit too much. I really appreciate it. No, I really love that. Well, later on you'll see it. It's beautiful.
That's the maquette.
First
The big
time
one
I
is.
see it.
What's that?
That's the maquette. The big one is in the.
Yeah, actually, that's a smaller version. There's one that's 10 feet tall
Right.
in the back.
Well, it's a beauty.
Thank you.
They're all friends of mine. It's a beauty.
Right on.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for
Cheers,
bringing it
Basil.
out here.
Cheers.
I think it's a good thing.
You've kept these characters who we've loved all our lives in the collective consciousness of the whole world. For some younger people, your interpretations of these monsters are the first they'd seen before we had DVDs and cable. Were able to see the films.
Yes.
So you are a major bridge between the things we love and our awareness and relationship with these things. And I'm totally grateful for that every day that I enjoy this.
you.
I agree. And as a young kid, so watching all these black and white movies, and then going down to the newsstand and looking for the latest issue of Famous Monsters, and seeing that color depiction of your favorite characters, or you usually see in black and white, to see them in those brilliant colors that you used was always a real treat for myself. For a long time, you were colorizing, these black and white movies in a way, that like a lot of people would never even have thought of doing at that time. And I just have to say, I love your technique, and I love those paintings.
I love the fact that they were not perfect people like we are. They have a presentation of their own, and it's beautiful. And this is a great. Later, you're going to see this wonderful gift that I got, and which I appreciate. But you will see what I mean. They're very well done to begin with. And they're people that I wish I knew in real life. But anyway, we have them.
Well, you mentioned the word different than us and unusual people. And one of the things you did that I think the filmmakers that created a lot of these images for us did is you always viewed monsters as sympathetic creatures. You always saw the humanity in them, no matter how monstrous they were. And I think everybody in this room can relate to that. We all feel like outsiders and one time or another, and have this great affinity for these because of that.
Yes, all these guys, the fellows have a thing of their own, a life of their own. They're breathing things. They're really beautiful. I see detail here which I didn't see before. It's wonderful. I didn't think I was getting this. I'm very happy. You'll see exactly what I mean. All these famous people are here forever. That's wonderful.
I have a question, Basil. Can you describe to us what your approach was when you were making those paintings for Famous Monsters? I noticed that there was a kind of a consistent approach that you took with a lot of those paintings. Can you just explain that?
It came to me that these people have not only a life of their own, but they had an expression that they could give us, which I didn't know. I learned later what the secret, there is a secret about it, that they are individual human beings who are obviously supporting or being other people. They were alive at the time. When I did them, as other paintings that you have seen of mine, I have gotten used to the idea of them being people that breed. If you see them, they're breeding people, they're real, obviously. When you see Carl, when you see, they're beautiful, beautiful people to look at. And that's it.
I noticed that a lot of your later paintings, you used a technique that looked to me like you were painting your subject, but you're also painting like maybe them against a colorful background, or you would add light to them, like almost as if they were standing in front of like three colored lights that were shining on their face. Does that sound like something you might have done? Because that's what it appears to.
Something that I like doing, yes. I like to do more and more for them. Every one of them had his own look, particular look, which I caught, and I have a lot to thank them for it. But above all, there were people that had something to give us. What I gave them was simply something that I wanted them to have. Coming to color, for instance, it was interesting to do color. Every time I got a job to do, as jobs right, every time I had to do something, I had to look for that certain something that they had, which projected to me what they represented. And each one of them represented something unusual to me. And I thank them for it as much as I thank you.
Thank you. Like a good example would be this painting right here. If you notice, on the right side of Bela Lugosi's face, there's a yellow light that comes in on this side of his face, while on the right side of his face, it's kind of like a palish blue. And you did that quite a bit in a lot of your paintings.
I like to do that. I like to put different color lights behind them because they, going beyond what they were, they lent themselves well to me. For instance, Carlo, what more can he ask for? He had everything, and so did the rest of them. They were actually ready for me, as I was ready for them. The idea of different color lights came to me very early in life, to put color light behind every character. The yellow light versus the blue light or yellow light had to be so because it had to be the opposite of what I did. It was an experiment for me. Everything they did was an experiment for me, I thought. What I ever did was pick something out of every one of them and bring it out to this world. And they had a lot to give. For instance, the blue light and the yellow complemented each other. And it so happened the red one complemented the blue and the blue complemented the red and the yellow. It was a fun thing for me to do. They were all fun things for me, from issue number 9 to issue whatever.
And we all have our favorites, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, you were able to, I know there's a lot of young artists out here. You were always able to push the envelope in your style with all these colors, but you always stayed true to the subject. These people look just like the actors, but they're not. And, that's such an incredible talent to have, even in your younger days when you were starting out, to be able to preserve the essence of the character and still push the envelope of your technique. I think that's fantastic. Would you give any of the aspiring artists out there any advice on how to develop a style and to start working in that medium?
It was difficult actually to do all these things, but it was worth it at the same time. The yellow light needed to be there. Whenever I saw a color, I had to complement it. When it came to different colors altogether, they seem to come together. But Is there a formula? Yes, there is. I love color. I live in color, and I want everything to have as much color as possible to it. Everything. I did for years, whatever I did, as old as they are, it was a pleasure to see the different colors that I could literally do to them. They gave me an extra element to work with, which was color. Color is, I lived in color. They are one color, I was in color. And it was wonderful. Every one of them represents something beautiful to me.
Wow, that's great. Can I ask you, back during that time period, how long did it take you to complete a painting, typically?
In the beginning, it took me, in the very first one, it took me about, I would say, 4 hours to do each one.
Wow.
4 hours. And then,
Wow.
of course, it went to 5 to 6 to 7 hours, till it got to be real involved presentation, which I had to give it. And each one of them, God, it's really what they needed. The yellow light, the blue light were always colors that came off the color wheel onto me, and it came to me by itself. It had something to give. And their likeness is there. It was there anyway, but they themselves, each one of them had something to do with the other. They were my pets. I did them gladly. Whatever I got a cover to do, I was just like a kid. I would go home and experiment with it. It's all an experimentation, really. And for the younger artists, I don't know what to say, except go for color. Live in color.
Go for color. I like that. Go for color.
Fantastic. Do we have more questions in the audience for Kirk and Basil? In the front here.
Yes. Basil, were you assigned the covers by Jim Warren, or did you get to the point where you could just paint whatever you wanted, whatever monster? Or were you given reference to those covers?
For the people in the back, the question is, did Basil get to choose the subject and paint what he wanted, or was he assigned all the covers by James Warren? Was there a time that came where he could do just whatever he wanted?
No, it was not whatever I wanted. It was whatever was given to me. But Jim Warren always gave me black and white photographs to work with, more or less black and white. And I didn't mind at all. I wanted black and white simply because I knew I had to add the color later. And what color would I add to it? Each one of them. Jim Warren just gave me black and white photographs, to say the least. And I would take it home and just experiment with it. And each one was an experimentation that I gave it. It was my doing. He never dictated what I should do. He always let me do what I wanted to do, which was my world. I belonged to it. I wanted to be the art director, the scenic director, whatever have you. I wanted to be the man to do the job alone.
You definitely were. At least from my perspective, Basil, you are the man. Still.
Over here in the hat. Did you hear that? Of all the paintings you did, which is your personal favorite?
Personal favorite, I don't have except what you have. The very early ones, they gave me more opportunity to do things with them. It was a question of enhancing what was there for me. I always worked with black and white photographs simply because I knew what color meant to me. And what color meant to me meant to everybody else. And I was lucky enough to see it. First of all, I loved it. As I said, I live in Colorado, so did they. And every one of them has the color to prove what I say. And it was an experiment for me. And I wouldn't stop until the end, which was everything that I could do for each one of them. I'm glad I got them.
Can I ask you, Basil, were you influenced at all by what was going on at the time? You know, we were talking about the 60s. Were you influenced by, say, psychedelia and you know, when psychedelia came into the picture, you know, everything got even more colorful, and you know, the culture got more colorful, and people got more colorful. Did that play in at all? Just out of curiosity.
Right. Whoever did that.
That may be a yes. Let's see. You don't have to answer. Any other questions out here? Yes, you.
What is the question?
He's right here. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. A monster or a subject that you found particularly challenging or most challenging?
The most challenges were people who were imperfect. In other words, if the sitter was perfect, it wouldn't do at all. I wanted imperfect people. A scar meant a scar to me. A blemish, whatever a blemish was a blemish. Carry it on. Go the limit. Do the best you can. Whatever it was, it had to be the best of its kind. It was beautiful. It was something that was important to me, to put a scar where a scar did not belong, where the man was not perfect, was imperfect. But that's what I wanted. I wanted a scar that was there maybe 6 hours, not 1 hour. Maybe a blemish was there much longer. That's all right. I wanted imperfection. And each one of them had a big perfection to get off of me. And I loved it.
Down in front.
Oh yeah, he was very funny, Charles Bronson. Incidentally, he never made it in the American movies. He made it in the foreign movies. He never made money on an American movie. But nevertheless, he was popular. Yes, there is. He had a vein up on his neck. He had a vein that unless you painted the vein, he wouldn't buy your illustration unless it was there. So naturally, the vein came in first. Up and down, there's the vein. You can see pictures of him as of late. You will always find that vein. And as long as he had it, he was satisfied. So I did vein drawings.
Wow, that vein must have been really important to him.
But he never really made it in Hollywood. He always made it in foreign movies.
My question for Kirk: if you could commission any type of painting from him, what would it be?
For the people in the back, if Kirk could commission any painting from Basil, what would it be?
Wow, you know, that's a hard one. I don't know, you know.
You need a you of you.
I don't know, Kirk Von Hammett?
Yeah. Interesting. Have you ever done a self-portrait, Basil?
Have you ever done a self-portrait of yourself?
No, somebody else did of me. A number of them. But I've never done one, no. As a matter of fact, I've never done a self-portrait of any kind, no.
Here in the front?
I don't know why. I'm not dead.
We still have some time, I think.
You never know.
We're not letting you out of here.
Destroy the humanoid. Intruder alert, intruder alert. Intruder mana escape.